absolutely fine for me. They've gone out and they've gone out of their way to find the people that hate Donald Trump, President Trump, the most. They put them up there. Everybody's been absolutely fine. And they have, you know, I don't even know most of these people. Many of these people I've never even heard of. So what Crooked Schiff is doing, he's a corrupt politician. What this corrupt politician does, he looks all over, tries to find people that don't like Trump, and he puts them up. We are winning so big. My polls are the highest they've ever been. I'm leading in all of the states, every swing state. The fundraising numbers just came in. They're the highest, I think, in history. I don't think anybody's ever had. And I'll tell you what, we are winning so big because we're going along. These are corrupt politicians, and that includes Nancy Pelosi. She's a corrupt politician. She should go back to a district which is horrible. It's filthy. It's drug infested. The stuff's being flown out to the ocean. It's being wiped out to the ocean through their drainage systems. You got to see what's happening in San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi ought to focus on a district, but these are corrupt politicians. We're going to Atlanta. We have a, as you call, black vote, but this is really, we're doing very well with African Americans. I think a big factor is the fact that they're having the best economic year they've ever had in the history of our country. And we're going there. We've been invited, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be fantastic. So I've known Michael Bloomberg for a long time. If you go back early on, he said a lot of great things about Trump. But I know Michael, he became just a nothing. He was really a nothing. He's not going to do well, but I think he's going to hurt Biden, actually. But he doesn't have the magic to do well. Little Michael will fail. He'll spend a lot of money. He's got some really big issues. He's got some personal problems, and he's got a lot of other problems. But I know Michael Bloomberg fairly well. Not too well, fairly well. Well enough. He will not do very well. And if he did, I'd be happy. There is nobody I'd rather run against than little Michael. That I can tell you. Well, they're making it up. First of all, this whole thing is a phony deal. It's a phony setup. When you look at the lawyer that got it started, the whistleblower lawyer, he got it started. It's a phony deal. These Democrats are corrupt. Nancy Pelosi is a corrupt politician. Shifty Schiff is a double corrupt politician. He took my words on the phone call, and they were so good, he totally changed them. He went before Congress. He made a speech before Congress. And in the speech, John, he said things that were horrible. It bore no relationship to the call. And then later on, he was embarrassed. Let me tell you something. Schiff is a corrupt politician. And our people know it, and they know it too, by the way. Just so you know, we have the highest poll numbers. We have the most energy. I was with Mitch McConnell and a whole group of people last night. And I was with leaders of faith and evangelical leaders. They said they have never, all of them, they have never had the energy that we've had and we have now in the Republican Party and beyond the Republican Party. People that were Democrats and they're for Trump. And we've never had the poll numbers. Because I don't want to give credibility to a corrupt witch hunt. I'd love to have Mick go up, frankly. I think he'd do great. I'd love to have him go up. I'd love to have almost every person go up when they know me. What I don't like is when they put all these people that I never met before. When they put the head of the never-Trumpers on the stand. And even those people were okay. They were fine. Those are the people I never even heard of. The people that I know, I would love to have them go up. Now, the rest is up to the lawyers. I have to do what the lawyers say to a certain extent. Not always, but, you know, to a certain extent. But I will tell you, I like to have the people go up. Except one thing. It validates a corrupt investigation. Adam Schiff, he's a corrupt politician. He's as corrupt as you'll ever see when he makes up my words and reads fake words to Congress. And he acts so innocent. He's a corrupt politician. I don't need to talk up, please.
Was Maria Yovanovitch the target of a smear campaign?
I really don't know her. But if you look at the transcripts, the president of Ukraine was not a fan of hers either. I mean, he did not exactly say glowing things. I'm sure she's a very fine woman. I just don't know much about her.
She told lawmakers she had to.
But you have to take a look at the transcript because the president of Ukraine was not favorably inclined.
You said you want the whistleblower to do everything not in writing. You want to come in and talk to Congress. But you did your own depots with Mueller in writing.
I think that the whistleblower gave a lot of false information, and you have to see who the whistleblower is. Once I released the transcript, which was almost immediately, the whistleblower's report was very wrong. Because, as you know, the whistleblower covered mostly my transcript, my call with the president of Ukraine. So once I released that call, I released a very detailed version of that call. All of a sudden, the whistleblower's report was incorrect, and the whistleblower seems to have disappeared. And I also wonder what happened to the second whistleblower and what happened to the informant. They all disappeared once I released the report. The fact is, nobody thought I was going to release the report. And then in addition to the report, the Ukrainian president made a very strong statement that there was no pressure, there was no anything. And the foreign minister from Ukraine made an equally strong statement that there was no pressure. So, look, nobody thought I was going to issue the report, and I hate to do it because I don't like to issue conversations with foreign leaders. Not fair to them. But we sought their approval, we got their approval, we issued it, and that was it.
What should be done about Iran's advanced centrifuges? What should be done about Iran's advanced centrifuges?
Well, we're looking into that. We'll see. Go ahead.
What arms control, Mr. President? The news got recently made the U.S. and Russia is about to spy.
We are looking at arms control right now. We're dealing with China. We're dealing with Russia. I think they would both like to do it, especially as we're talking about nuclear weapons. But we are looking at a major arms control kind of an agreement right now with Russia, China, and maybe somebody else. Thank you. I'm going to Kentucky. Watch.
Do you think that will have in your campaign next year?
Well, I can't believe they'd impeach. You have the greatest economy in the history of our country. You have the highest stock market in the history of our country. You have the best employment numbers and unemployment numbers in the history of our country. Today we have almost 160 million people working. We've never been close. And so you have the best employment numbers and the best unemployment numbers. Black unemployment hit another record. It's another record. If you look at Asian, if you look at Hispanic, in fact, African-American unemployment just hit a number that nobody ever thought was even possible. The numbers are so good. So when you talk about the impeachment hoax, it's a hoax because the letter was perfect. What wasn't perfect is, and all you have to do is take a look at the letter, which is transcribed. They transcribed what happened on a very good phone conversation. I call it a perfect conversation because it was totally appropriate, very good, and everybody's saying it. Anybody that reads that letter, which is basically what happened on that conversation with the president of Ukraine. Now, I'll go a step further. The president of Ukraine said he didn't even know what anybody was talking about. It was a very fine conversation. The foreign minister said there was absolutely no pressure. The president said the same thing. The Democrats are crazed. They're lunatics. In the meantime, we have the greatest economy ever. We have a man on the other side, Adam Schiff, who's a corrupt politician, as you know. He's a corrupt politician. He made up a speech, and he read what I said, and it wasn't what I said. It was a terrible thing he said, and many people saw that. That's how this whole thing, he started it as a con. The whistleblower, we got to find out about the whistleblower because what he said has no relationship to what took place on my very good phone conversation with the president of Ukraine. So with all of this that's happening, I think the Republicans have been amazing. We had 195 or 196 to nothing. We have tremendous support from the Senate. We have tremendous support from the House. We even had Democrats go over to the Republican side yesterday in the House to vote because they said, this is not impeachable. This isn't impeachable. That's supposed to be high crimes and misdemeanors. I'll tell you, in my opinion, except that he has immunity, which he shouldn't have, Adam Schiff created a high crime and a misdemeanor when he gave a false reading of what I said purposely. So we have to find out, why did the whistleblower give a false account. We have to find out what happened with Adam Schiff and the whistleblower. I have to say, we've had tremendous support. We have great poll numbers. We have more energy now. The evangelical leaders came in, as you probably know, 4 days ago. They said that the evangelical Christians and other faith-based organizations, churches, temples, synagogues, no matter what you look, they've never seen it so unified. They've never seen it so energized. And they came in, we had 28 leaders come in. They said they've never seen energy like they have. So the impeachment thing is a hoax. Now, whether or not they try pulling it off, it would be a disgrace. I think it would be. You can't impeach a president who did nothing wrong. You can't impeach a president that has the greatest economy in the history of our nation. You can't impeach a president that has unemployment numbers historic. Never have so many people been working, both employment and unemployment, who's rebuilt our military, who's taken care of our vets with choice and accountability. Nobody thought those things could be passed. So I think we've done more than any administration in history in its first 2.5 years. Yeah.
Mr. President, what do you say to the White House officials that did testify that your phone call was not perfect, that they were concerned about what they heard on that phone call?
Well, all they have to do is read the transcript. Now, the gentleman that came in yesterday, Morrison, he was terrific. He was supposed to be their primary witness. He was terrific. And he said he didn't see anything wrong with it. And by the way, I have a lot of never-Trumpers that have been in different positions for a long time. Don't forget, I beat the Bush dynasty. I beat the Clinton dynasty. And I beat Obama and all of his people. And I come to Washington, and a lot of thousands of these people, tens of thousands, are working. But when you read that transcript, it all goes away, because that transcript was totally appropriate. Say it?
Are you leaving New York in part because of the court case here again?
No, they haven't treated me properly. I pay millions of taxes, millions and millions of dollars in New York, and they've never treated me, since I became president. They just haven't treated, I think, the office with the kind of respect. And I don't mind paying the taxes. New York is a very expensive place to live. But many bad things are happening in New York, and I just put out a statement on New York, so I think you probably did you get it? I just put out a statement in New York, so I think it's pretty complete.
Mr. President, sir, on your cooperation, sir, are you really willing to sit out the biggest fight of your political life by not cooperating in this inquiry? You're not.
Well, I think I am cooperating, because you know what? I'm in front of you. Now you have Shifty Schiff, who said, let me just tell you, you have a corrupt politician leading this thing. He lies, he leaks, he's done so many things that are corrupt. It's lucky he's got immunity, and he shouldn't have immunity. He made up a statement that he said I said, and I didn't say it. And it was only people, when they went back and looked at the transcript, they said it was perfect. He's a corrupt politician. Nancy Pelosi, she should spend more time working on her district, which is going to hell. What's happening in San Francisco is sad. You look at the homeless population, you look at the problems. But Nancy Pelosi should go back to her district, because she has totally lost control of her House. And I'll tell you what, you're going to have many more Democrats come on our side.
Are you coming this month and should he hand over his cards?
President Erdogan wants to come to the White House. We have a very good relationship. The ceasefire has held very nicely. We've kept the oil. We stayed back and kept the oil. Other people can patrol the border of Syria, frankly, and Turkey. Let them. They've been fighting for 1,000 years. Let them do the border. We don't want to do that. We want to bring our soldiers home. But we did leave soldiers because we're keeping the oil. I like oil. We're keeping the oil, and we're working with the Kurds, and we're frankly working with Turkey, and we're working with a lot of countries. We had a tremendous victory the other day in getting the #1 terrorist in the world, and probably one of the maybe the #1 terrorist for the last 50 years, and we knocked him out, and then we knocked out #2, and we already have #3 in our sights. I'm going right now to a great place, and we're going to a wonderful, totally sold out, big deal, and we're going to have a wonderful governor elected in a fabulous state. You know what the state is? Mississippi.
What about considering replacing your chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney?
No, I have a very good relationship with Mick. I like Mick Mulvaney. I have a very good relationship with him.
What about DHS, sir? DHS secretary.
Well, I have a deputy. As you know, I put in a very nice, right. I put in a very good man who's highly respected, and he's acting right now, and we'll see where that goes. And as you know, John, I like acting. I mean, a lot of people say act. I like acting. It gives you great flexibility. I do.
On China, what is the status of the deal with China? Because we're hearing different things. And where might an alternative location to sign the deal be now that Santiago?
Well, we're moving along with the deal with China. China wants to make the deal very much, and we have a good relationship, and we'll see what happens. I don't like to talk about deals until they happen, but we're making a lot of progress.
Where?
Location to sign?
Looking at a different couple of locations.
Like?
It could even be in Iowa. Could be in Iowa. Try that one. You understand? Could be.
Mr. President, a quick question.
I mean, it's something we are discussing. But we're discussing location.